Welcome to Discovery! Today's a day that I've been building for about a fortnight now. It's Black Discovery. And holy shit, black metal is my favorite genre in metal and I love everything about it. On this episode we'll be exclusively cover black metal, so buckle up and enjoy Black Discovery. We'll be covering some old albums from the past and new albums. Okay, before I start this Black Discovery, pop what you have discovered down below, and here we go. For 4 weeks we will be covering black metal albums over the past. And this is none other than Nothing But Black Metal November. Okay, so first up is an album that was released in 2019, Abigail Williams, and his album Walk Beyond the Dark. Spoiler alert, 2019 had amazing albums the likes of Opeth, Slipknot, and Flesh God Apocalypse. But what really grabbed my attention was Walk Beyond the Dark. Holy shit, this album is amazing with atmospheric dark vibes throughout, orchestral moments sprinkled throughout the mix, and Abigail Williams' vocals are so damn intense in this. The production is phenomenal in this, and the riffs and melodies are memorable, with tracks like I Will Depart, Sun and Moon, and Born of Nothing. Then you get the closer with slower tempo doomier moments, along with the aggressive cavernous vocals by Abigail Williams, creating such atmosphere like you're stuck in a cave. Into the Sleep and Black Waves is so infectious in tone. Overall, Abigail Williams' Beyond the Dark was my favorite album of 2019, and to this day it still stands as my favorite album of that particular year. The musicianship is fantastic on this, strong black metal aesthetics, contrast with aggressive metal moments and impactful drum tone. For Abigail Williams' Walk Beyond the Dark, it gets a 95%, a modern day fucking masterpiece. Next up is a divisive album that was released last year, an album I've grown to really enjoy, but it's not their best genre, and the 2020 release Thunder in the Mountains. Now this particular album reminds me of Borknica in a way, but they managed to have their own sound. One word to describe this release is it's epic, with shimmering guitar within the mix and orchestral arrangements that intensify throughout the album. If you have heard this album, you would realize the song of Hiawatha could be the best song off the album with its crazy melody. The incredible screams, a good mix between harsh and clean vocals. Her vocals are amazing, his vocals are amazing as well, with the clean vocals not as often as the black metal shrieks, but the riffs are very good on this. Flames in the Sky and the Death of Minnehaha are two songs that stand out on this album. The guitars are melodic and are tuneful, with the solos scattered throughout Thunders in the Mountains. There are mainly epic atmospheric vibes on this, but you can't help notice that there are folky elements. Overall good album, but what doesn't make it great is the songwriting and at times the skill to grab the listener's attention for nearly 50 minutes. I feel it doesn't warrant that aspect where the album is releasable over and over again. Songwriting is at times subpar. So for Jodnar, Thunder in the Mountains, I'm probably going to give this a 75%. This is still a very good black metal album, very atmospheric in tone. In all aspects, do I love it? Love it? Not really, but it's gonna get a 75 because I just feel the melodies on this are just really good. Okay, so next up is a Canadian black metal band, Malapraki, and the album Moselle. One way to describe this new release is epic and emotional. This black metal project is majestic in tone, great guitar that has a black gaze feel, and the drumming is spectacular. The vocals are high and have that classic black metal aesthetic, but what makes this album grandiose in size is the overall production, which is mammoth. His vocals at times can contrast between harsh and shrieky to death growls, especially in the final song of the album. All of the song titles are in French, which I can't fucking pronounce, but there are beautiful acoustic passages within the mix of the LP that is filled with dread and sorrow, and I absolutely love it. This was the first time I ever heard of this band, and holy shit, I become a fan. Because to me, they don't sound like a lot of atmospheric black metal bands out there. They are very different. They're able to make an entertaining album that lasts over 52 minutes. Every song earns its way on the album, and there are no fillers. Every part of the album is blissful, and the melodies are very good in this. Different vocal styles and shimmering guitar, and even solos sprinkled within the LP. The drumming at times can be in your face, but at the same time it's balanced within the mix. One of the better black metal albums of 2021. I'm going to give this an enthusiastic 85%. Okay, next up is an upcoming album that will be released on the 12th of November, so next week, but you can listen to it exclusively on the Black Metal Promotion YouTube channel. It's a Swiss black metal band, Karn Bard, with their take on epic atmospheric black metal. They released an album called Devoured by the Oak, and oh boy, this is one of my favorites of the year. As you all know, I fucking love epic black metal, and this is one of the best. This is up there with Fahrenheit with the epicness, less synthy, more heavily influenced by strong flute and acoustic guitars that fill the album with amazing melodies from start to finish. Songs are long in length, and those shrieky, intense black metal vocals are accompanied with highly orchestral arrangements throughout this album. Clean vocals are thrown into the mix, making the album sound grandiose in size. Choir is also involved, making everything very over the top, but in a good way. Production is on point on this, and at the moment it's easily my favorite metal album of November, up there to be one of my favorite black metal albums of the year. Love the use of the violins and flutes throughout, especially track 2, and the use of the crazy blast beats throughout the 2-song suite, Devoured by the Oak. Things get very epic throughout the last half of the album with folky arrangements that will make your heart warm. Overall, this LP is fantastic, and I would recommend everyone to listen to if you like folky, atmospheric, epic black metal. This band at times reminds me of Caladan Brood, Galabrade, and even Aldemar, with the epicness and the way they present themselves, as it doesn't come off cheesy. Piano and harp are sprinkled throughout the album, giving us a break from the heaviness. And yes, this album can get quite intense and quite fucking heavy. Great guitar, heavy guitar tremolo picking and intense blast beats, but also have the softness of a folk album. At times you don't think it's black metal, and the chants throughout the songs, but then it transitions into black metal goodness with all the ropes and tricks of black metal. 92 fucking percent. I'm giving this album just fantastic. One of the best epic black metal albums of the year. Okay, you probably guessed that this episode of Black Discovery is all about epic black metal, and we're talking about all black metal albums on this Discovery this month. So next up, we're talking a band called Aquilus and the album Gracias. This is one of my favorite black metal albums of all time. This is such a beautiful album from start to finish. Full orchestral arrangements are featured on this. Some epic passages that really lift this album into the next stratosphere. Long and majestic songs that are sprinkled with strings and horns, along with intense black metal moments. Nihil is a good example and a great opener. From haunting orchestral melodies to intense black metal screams, drums and guitar, this album is the epitome of epic black metal. There is so much rich and lavishing moments. In a Land of Ashes features piano and violin, and you wouldn't think this was a black metal album at all. Then the next track, Arboreal Sleep, you get hit in the fucking face with fierce guitars and drumming and just intense vocals. Yes, there are some beautiful moments on this, but also damn right nasty heavy moments. The vocal performance is phenomenal, and I fucking love it. Gracias is a fairly long album, but there are so many twists and turns. 98%. This album it's one of the close to perfect, epic and majestic black metal albums out there. And I believe Quest for Metal also put Aquilus this particular album in his top 50 as well for the black metal albums, which I might also do give you my top 50 black metal albums of all time later on this month. Okay, and finally, the last album we're going to mention on Black Discovery is a new album that was just released, Balor, and the album Artifacts, which will be released later this week. Again, this is another epic black metal album filled with surprises, dungeon synth moments, horns, violins, pianos. The whole mix is here and just dirty black metal shrieks to even death growls. From highly arranged orchestral moments to one of the best outros of an album I've heard for a very long time. This is like a mix of Fahrenheit and Callum Brood, except this album is slightly heavy, exploring a fantasy world filled with dread. Every single song is long in length. Great guitar work and drumming. Seems to really escalate the album to the next level. What I love is how they incorporate the famous music, but I know the melody was from the movie Sunshine when they're fighting the payload, but they incorporate that same melody onto the last song called Glorious Journey. And I fucking love it. It's just so epic in tone, and Glorious Journey would be my favorite song off the LP. 85% it gets. Amazing album. So yeah, that's it for the first edition of the Black Discovery. I hope you did enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below what albums you're going to check out, what albums you discovered as well in black metal, in all sorts of metal genres. And I will see you in the next Black Discovery.